Good morning or good afternoon. It's 12:30. Sometimes these summer days just feel like time all just mingles into itself. In any case, good afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are. I'm Laura Haywood, Broadway Girl NYC, and I'm coming to you for a special edition of Laura Haywood Checks In. During the shutdown, this was the show that I did to just check in with my friends on Broadway to see how everybody was doing, to see how everybody was hanging in with all of the weirdness going on in the world. And I've decided to continue Laura Haywood Checks In as Broadway reopens and chat with some of my friends about their projects that are coming up now that everybody's hopefully going back to work. So let's not wait on it. I invite to join the conversation a Tony Award winner. He should be joining us any second. Mr. Derrick Baskin.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm happy to be seen and happy to see you too. Make sure this is right. All right, bow. There we go. What's happening?
Do I see the word hope behind you?
Yes, I painted that. HOPE.
You did?
I did a couple of years back, and it's like gives me really good energy, when I walk into the room. So.
Oh, I love that. I've got the word Broadway behind me.
Also a wonderful word.
I did not paint that. Actually,
you didn't paint?
That is a real street sign from.
I was gonna say it looks like a street sign.
Yeah, it is, and I keep it around. I love it. Okay, so first of all, how are you? The world has been a lot of ups and downs, but
yeah. I feel like I'm in a really, really great space right now. I'm filled with a lot of love, a lot of gratitude, very grateful for kind of what the pandemic has manifested in my life. And I'm feeling really grounded, feeling very connected. I feel really good right now.
Good.
How are you? How are you feeling?
Good too. The pandemic has manifested some good stuff for me too. It's been really
What's
difficult.
up, K-Stu?
But
Sorry, I see my
all the friends are joining. I see Amber.
Yeah. What's up, Amber?
I just know that you have one of my favorite smiles of any Broadway performer. And anytime you're happy, that means we all get to smile some more. So
I appreciate that.
When you say what the pandemic has manifested for you, what can you tell us? I know you have a show coming up at 54 Below. First of July. I will be there, very first show.
Oh, I'm excited. Thanks for coming, man.
Of course, I wouldn't miss it. I mean, the Tony winning talent in a small venue, and it's even more now because they're separating people, social distancing, and it's going to be a really intimate show, and that to me makes it all the more special. So
this is my first time performing since the shutdown, and so I'll be very excited to kind of share energy. I'm used to when I perform, I'm used to sharing energy with an audience. I did that with Ain't Too Proud for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so to be able to kind of be back on stage and kind of just share that energy, it's very it's very special. I'm sure I'll be very emotional, kind of reconnecting with people. It'll probably be very overwhelming just receiving that kind of love, because preparing for this show, like all my friends, like I've had just so much love coming toward me in support of the show, and I can't wait to share. I can't wait to share. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of things, but for me, the pandemic, it made me kind of just sit down and sit with myself. As an actor or an artist, quite often we're trying to push ourselves forward. We're trying to will ourselves forward. There's a hustle, and so when the world shut down, it allowed me to kind of just sit with myself, to look at myself and say, what are areas in your life that are a bit imbalanced? Where can you adjust? And I don't think I'd ever done that. I don't think I'd ever really been that introspective. I don't think I took the time. I probably had the time at some point, but I never took the time to kind of like sit with myself. And so I sat with myself, and I was realizing there's some things that I can adjust in the way I look at myself as a man, and the way I look at myself as an artist, and the way I look at myself as a brother, as a lover. Like all these things, I just began to look at myself and say, there's some adjustments that need to be taken. And so I began to adjust, and it was very hard, because I was here, with myself and my dog who's running around here somewhere. It was just the two of us, and I have friends, who live close by, and we were staying in touch with each other. Casey said we all took several seats. We did, I took several seats, man, but I needed to. and I'm just so grateful. And so like I have just a new way, I think, of kind of sharing my art, you know. If it's not going to bring me peace, if it's not going to inspire me, I'm not going to do it. I'm not necessarily chasing the bag, you know. I'm not trying to. I don't care necessarily about my popularity. I really want to do good work, and I think good work begets good work. And I'm there now. You know, there was a point where I was like comparing myself to other guys in my category and seeing what they were achieving. And I was just looking in just all the wrong places. I really, really was. And I began to just look within myself, be grateful for what I have actually achieved. Because sometimes I'd be in something and not be grateful for what that is. You know, there was a moment um, in Ain't Too Proud, you know, where I was just like, you know, I was just driving. And I was like, in the pandemic, I was like, Derrick, did you stop? Was there a moment where you stopped and said, wow, I'm a lead in a Broadway show? Like, that's major. You know what I mean? And like just finding that joy, finding that gratitude. I feel grateful, more grateful for where I am right now. And you know, these shows at 54 Below, um, even if I don't talk about it, hopefully what you will feel and hopefully what is reflected in what I do that night is just gratitude. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for being an artist. You know, I'm grateful for being a singer. You know, music is my gift, you know, and so I'm going to walk in that gift now. And I'm just grateful to share that now. I just feel very, very fortunate to be like where I am and fortunate to have, you know, been blessed to do what I've been doing.
I am so inspired right now, and I'm not saying that as lip service. I'm at the point right now where after, like, I'm an introvert, but I also am really social. So when the pandemic started, at first I was like, yes, I don't have to do anything, and then
Yeah.
I started being like, but I can't exercise my social muscles, and I started to feel really panicky about that. And
Right.
now point where things are starting to come back in my life, and now I'm like, ah, too much stuff. I want to go back to where I could just say no to everything because of
Yeah.
the pandemic, you know.
Yeah.
But to hear you talk about recentering, refocusing, being grateful for the opportunities that you do have, you know, and being choosy about what you say yes to. I
Yeah.
I needed that more than you can ever know to hear that today.
No, good.
And so I know I'm not the only one. So I
Yeah.
thank you for putting it so beautifully, so eloquently, but also so simply, because I think whether we are a star of a Broadway show or whether we're somebody who like just got that teaching gig or we're somebody who, you know, maybe whatever it is, take a moment and be like, there was a moment where this was the dream and now
Yeah.
I can appreciate that, you know, or
Yeah.
step towards the dream or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think it's just always important to remember where you are is where you're supposed to be.
Mm,
And there's a if it's good or if it's bad, and if it's in a place where you're in a bad situation, what am I going to learn from this and move through, right? Because you know sometimes you are in a place, a bad place, and you it teaches you to say, let me not stay here, let me not stay in this place. But where you are, there's always something to learn and grow through. And so I learned that, you know, here's where I am right now. So being at 54 Below, this is where I should be. This is exactly where I should be. It came when it came how it came, and I'm grateful, you know? Yeah, it's just important. It's important to realize, you know, sometimes for me, I'll say this, you know, there are things in my life that I have wanted to achieve, right? So when I was 20, I'm like, great, I'll be married by 24. I have a family, kids, a picket fence, you know, all these things. And, you know, I'm not 24 anymore. You know what I mean? But exactly where I am exactly where I should be. And just appreciating that what I want and what is meant for me has not passed me by. And so just being grateful in that.
you're like talking directly to my heart and soul. Try being a woman who's in her early 40s and didn't talk
Yeah,
about that stuff.
I understand. I'm in my early 40s as well. I get it. I understand. But, you know, it's just like if you allow life to shape you, I think the best things for you will come to you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
If you
Out
Just
on
allow yourself.
54 below. I'm going to seek you out. We're going to have a hug about this.
Hey, I'm down. I got a hook for you. We're
Um,
vaccinated. Let's do it.
what kind? Yeah, exactly. What kind of music are we going to hear? Is this going to be stuff from your Broadway catalog? Stuff from like
Yeah.
radio that you love? Is it a storytelling show with a through line?
Uh, uh, you're gonna hear some stuff from Ain't Too Proud, just because I feel like that's the last thing I need to, kind of give people, since that's the last thing they saw me in.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna touch that, but mainly we're gonna just talk. The music is music that has always touched my heart, right? So a lot of times we are, for me, there's like moments in your life, right? You remember that time you fell in love. You remember that time you fell out of love. I remember what I was listening to when I first moved to the city.
Mm.
And so like I'm gonna do all of that. We're gonna talk, and so it's about music that kind of just reflects moments in my life, and hopefully the moments that are reflected in my life will cause you to kind of reflect as well. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna sing some of my songs from my heroes. Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure you have your set list all like permanently etched in stone, but I think it'd be really awesome if you ended with the goodbye song.
Little spelling bee action.
I think I was going through today how many of your shows that I've seen, and I think I've
Yeah.
seen almost everything.
Oh wow.
I missed Whirl Inside a Loop, which I beat up for. I was out of town for like the entire run. I was traveling.
Oh man.
I know. And like the stories that I've heard from the cast members of that show about how you all inspired each other. But I missed that one. But I think the musicals, I think I've seen them all. In fact, the last time Broadway shut down was during the writer's strike, I want to say in 2007. And
Yeah.
the first show I saw the day that came back was Little Mermaid.
Wow.
It's like I got a show the day that everything comes back, and that was the ticket I had. And then, but I think that the moment that where I was like, who the heck is that? I need to follow this guy's career. Do you know the moment I'm talking about?
I can guess.
Can you guess? I bet it's one that you get that people talk.
Well, you tell me though. I don't want to be presumptuous.
I was after an entire half of a show went by without you uttering a single peep, and then this guy Gator in Memphis opens up his mouth.
Yeah.
The sweetest voice you've ever heard, and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
That was so funny because the first half of the show, I was thinking, "Oh, how nice! This part was available for somebody who didn't have to know how to sing."
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. The funny thing is, that role was actually supposed to be the narrator of the show. So there was like a different perspective than when they were writing it. Joel DiPietro, who wrote it, he was going to make my character kind of narrate the show, and there's going to be the through line of it. And then they just changed and took all the lines away. It's like, we're going to give you the lines, and then we're going to take them away. But then the funny thing is, like the next Broadway show I did, I end up being a narrator. You know what I mean? That's Ain't Too Proud. So, it's interesting how that worked. But it was, I was completely silent, man.
So wait, after you were cast as the person with all the lines, they were like, you're actually gonna have 0 lines.
Yeah. So what happened was that character, he was in the ensemble. Gator was like a feature. I had like a 4-line recitative. We were at North Shore Musical Theater, outside of Boston, and I was literally in the ensemble. I sang these 4 little lines, and David Bryan, who did the music, was like, this guy, like, what can we do with that guy? And he wrote a song for me, and then that elevated me to principal status. And then we did a couple of runs and then the next run was Palo Alto, California Theater Works, and that's when they're like, let's have him open the show. And so then I had this opening number where I opened the show, and then then there was like, the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to have you start narrating. And then that part actually never happened. They were like, we're going to change it. They changed directors, they changed choreographers, like all that stuff. And so they were like, there were 3 characters, me, James Monroe Iglehart, my best friend, and also J. Bernard Calloway. We were the 3 Black principal leads. And they were kind of like competing with each other a little bit. So like, how do we separate these 3 characters? And J. Bernard, he was the lead's brother, and James was here. And he's like, where does Gator fit? And how do we separate him? And so they were like, let's make him a mute. That's what happened.
I've never heard that story before. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I can also see I'm going to put words in your mouth right now. I can see you being like, I was supposed to be the narrator.
Oh, I freaked out. I freaked all the way out because we had a reading with Chris Ashley, who was the new director at the time, and so we had a table read, and I was just like, I got there, got the script, I'm like flipping through, just looking quickly, like flipping through my line, looking for my lines, and I was flipping. I just kept flipping, and I was like, what? And I look up at Joe and David, who are sitting across, the creators, and they were looking at me like, look for my lines, and they were like, you have to trust us. There is a big payoff. And I didn't understand it until we did it. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a payoff. It was crazy.
Quitting and being like, this is not what I signed up for, or as
I never quit. I never wanted to quit that show, but initially I was disappointed. I was just like, damn, they're gonna take all my lines, they're gonna take my song. Like, it was like all this stuff, and that was in my feelings as artists. You want to see your character in all the scenes. He was like, you actually are in these scenes. He's like, you're in them. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay. Then I started to understand. It's hard, like with that type of character, when you're doing a table read, you don't realize that everything that's being read, you're actually there for all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it was an adjustment.
And then the universe was like, oh, you want to be the narrator?
Great.
How about we give you this other show where you're the narrator and you sing a song, and
Yeah.
you're going to win a Tony Award for it.
Yeah, and you're gonna dance in every single dance number, and you're not a dancer. So I'm gonna give you this, and I'm gonna give you the exact opposite of that.
You are a dancer, my friend.
I guess I am now.
You are.
I guess I am now. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I cannot wait to see your 54 Below show. I will be there on July 1st, 7:30 p.m. That is just the first of several of the shows. Anything else you want to promote or plug or talk about before we say goodbye?
No, I'm just thank you for this time, and everyone who's watching. If you have time, it's going to be a very special few days. Again, we're there from the 29th to the 3rd of July, June 29th to July 3rd. Yeah, June 29th. Yeah.
Oh, I thought July 1st was the first show. Maybe that was
just
one where I could get a ticket.
Yeah, they've been selling pretty well. Yeah, they've been selling pretty well. So
great. So June 29th to the 3rd. I apologize for the fact that I'm quoting it wrong this entire time.
Oh no, it's fine. That's why we're doing these things, right? So we get to talk it out. But yeah, it's just gonna be a bunch of I'm gonna share my heart, and I hope that you share your heart as well. I can't wait for this energy exchange. I can't wait to just share my gift again, and I can't wait to just be in live theater. And so I, if you're watching, I would love to have you in the house.
Amazing. Well, I'm going to save this to the IGTV so people can revisit it later. And if it's okay with you, I'd also love to put it up on my YouTube channel.
Whatever you want. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. On July 1st, hopefully everybody will come and see you June 29th to July 3rd.
Yes.
And then continue to follow whatever comes next, because you are.
And we'll see what's next.
And we'll see.
There will be a next. That's what we know.
And when the time comes, we'll promote that together too, if you'd like.
I would love that.
Thank you, Derrick. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. All right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.